So, Cody Rhodes, is he going to WWE or not? That's what we're going to try and figure out today. Plus, it's a Friday edition, so that means it's a Freestyle Friday. Your question's on screen. What about this issue between Keith Lee and Vince McMahon when he was in the WWE, now that he's all elite? We'll pull back the curtain on that. Plus, we have even more news about what's going on with AEW Revolution this weekend on pay-per-view, and so much more. Share the link or you stink, baby.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. What's up, everybody? I'm Kev Callum, back in the pocket. And there he is in Nebraska, if you ask you. That is Mr. Jeremy Betta. He is a little bit too sweet today with his Bullet Club shirt on. There we go. We're going to get right into it. We have so much to touch on, but a little bit of a reminder, if you haven't done it already, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Kid Wrestling on YouTube. More than 26,000 have joined us. The more than nearly 3 million with us that are following Sports Kid on Facebook. Thank you so much. Check us out on YouTube, though. We have a little bit more content there as well. Make sure those notifications are on. And if you want to enjoy these shows in audio form a little bit more passively, don't need to keep touching the screen or something like that, just want to listen to it, download our podcast. We are available on Apple and Spotify. Thank you to the fans who have gotten us on the charts, on the Apple wrestling charts in the United States, India, the Philippines, Ireland, Great Britain, Australia, and more countries. We really appreciate that. And we'll have a ton of content for you this weekend with AEW Revolution. We have a preview up right now with our buddy Benno from postwrestling.com. We have also posted episodes of The Bro Show with Vince Russo and DDP talking about AEW buying ROH. So a lot of fresh content, hours of video and audio from us every single week for free. Jump on it. Let's jump right into it. So Cody Rhodes is done with AEW. That is a legitimate story. I know some people think with all the different things. AEW bought ROH.
It's
AEW,
a work.
It's a work. It was a work. AEW bought ROH, so Cody's going to be like Triple H, and he's going to get his ROH, and it's going to be like his NXT, and I thought it, and I get it. But here's the thing, guys. Speculation isn't news. Like, speculation is a fun thing that we're going to do here back and forth, but you have to determine the difference. You know the difference between a dessert and a steak. All right, so we have to separate those on the plate here a little bit.
Steak is dessert. What are you talking about?
Yeah, true, that is right. But you understand what I'm going for. So what is the latest? We have some conflicting reports here coming in the past 24 hours about whether or not Cody Rhodes is going to WWE, as a lot of reports, verifiable ones, have indicated that he is after AEW.
Yeah, last night we broke the news, literally broke as Jose and I were on the air last night, from Casty Haynes at bodyslam.net, saying that talks between Cody and WWE have fizzled out. And of course, that is now stoking the rumors that Cody might be running ROH once that is getting off the ground here next month, starting with Super Card of Honor in Dallas WrestleMania weekend. Dave Meltzer recently stated on the F4W board that he has heard that Cody is still on board with WWE as of 2 days ago. Of course, hey, that was as of 2 days ago, and Casty's report came out last night, so take that with a grain of salt. Also take it with a grain of salt because Ringside News is reporting this, and they're wrong a lot more than they're right. But they're reporting that Cody is scheduled for WrestleMania according to a tenured member of the creative team. That source said, I know what's scheduled for Cody for Mania, and that is still on the list. If it's changed, no one has told us yet or corrected the internal documents. Cody, as of an hour ago, is still on internal documents for WrestleMania. So still unclear what part he would be doing in WWE. Nothing outside of teases. There has not been any direction on where he would have gone. But then, of course, you got Casty's report yesterday saying that those talks have now fizzled out. So remains to be seen. It's up in the air. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors, and who knows what's going to happen, Kev.
Whoa! But it's a lot of smoke and mirrors. But I thought it's only smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of it now.
Whoa!
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I trust Casty and his reporting. So
I trust Casty and his reporting. Cody, but Cody going to WWE doesn't mean that I mean, fizzling out sometimes when you hear that. Does that mean that those?
It doesn't mean it's done necessarily. Yeah.
It just means all right, they're whatever they are, they are. Like there
Yeah.
isn't anything new to add to it. So I guess some people could say fizzling out. And then I read Cassie's report. I've met Cassie. He's a verifiable dude. He broke the Bryan Danielson going to AEW story.
Yeah.
He has a lot of good sources. We've aggregated a lot of his news at Sportskeeda. He's a verifiable dude. But this happens. You know, you report something and then there's the bounce back where it comes back and then you get news of people saying, no. All right, like this is going in a different direction here. So it still feels 50-50. It still feels like he's a man of intrigue. It still feels like he's the guy that people are talking about, and all these different things. Here.
An international man of mystery.
Yes. It is Freestyle Friday. We will let you guys take over the show with the SK Q&A. We have to get the SK name into it, but it is Freestyle Friday where you run the entire final segment of the show. If you're with us live, if you're with us on demand, drop your comments in the chat below as well. If you're watching on demand, I'll jump in there and jump in talking to those. We like to make this the most excessively interactive show that we possibly can. Eddie Ennis, you're in Illinois. I'm in Illinois. Tell me where you are in the state of Illinois. If you guys are watching for the first time, tell us who you guys are watching from. We always love.
I used to live in Illinois.
Yeah. Where'd you live in Illinois?
Pekin.
Pekin, Illinois. All right.
When like about 1982-ish.
All right. So let's see here. He comes out, Cody Rhodes. This story saying he's slotted for WrestleMania plans. Doesn't indicate that he's debuting at WrestleMania, right? Doesn't indicate that, right? But a debut, a return at WrestleMania, hell of a way to come back out. Hardy's did it about 5 years ago. Got one of those monster pops. If WWE wanted to do something on that 2-night of WrestleMania to really make people go like, oh, wow, what a wonderful treat. You already got me here, and you gave me something extra. AEW did this at All Out. Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson debut in the company at the end of the show. I was there. It was a wonderful addition to the show. I think WWE doing the same thing or doing something like they did with the Hardys, 5 or 6 years ago would be really, really cool. And the idea that, WrestleMania being 2 nights now, I think you kind of have the storyline capacity to do something like that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just don't know where to put him right now. I mean, it almost, we've talked about this on the top story before. It's almost better to start that or have him debut on a Raw or SmackDown and then build something up to WrestleMania. So now, the only way you can really put him in,
I agree. Maybe it'd be good to do like a shot in the arm type thing and have him on there. But the time to do that with everything that's going on with WrestleMania that has to be told storyline wise, is getting really thin. I hear a lot of people saying like, is this other match we've been hearing about for a long time, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Kevin Owens or something like that? Is it going to happen, or is it simply just going to be another surprise thing they do at WrestleMania? And is that going to be a real match? Do you have enough time to do that? You have about a month here. That's 4 episodes of television. Certainly, that's more than enough time. Is WWE going to do the crazy thing of having a Stone Cold or a Cody injected into WrestleMania the week of? 10 years ago, I think that'd be an unfortunate idea to go with. But now with social media and digital media and how fast you can get the word out about that, it may be something where it's like, all right, let's try something like that. Let's see if doing something late in the game makes a difference.
He can put all that to bed tomorrow if he leads an ROH invasion at Revolution or Sunday. I mean,
yeah,
I'm getting too used to Saturday pay-per-views now.
Yeah, I'm getting way too used to Saturday pay-per-views.
But I'm going to pay-per-views on Sunday this week.
Yeah, so and also, WrestleMania is 2 nights. Like I said, you can do that over 2 nights. You can make him a guy who, like, if you think Saturday night he's peaking, all right, let's save him for the Sunday surprise with everything else going on in the show. And it's 2 nights of WrestleMania. So there's a lot of different things here. And good on Cody for keeping it interesting. A lot of stuff here. A lot of interesting things going on across the board here.
Yeah, if he shows up Sunday, you can pretty much put the WWE talk to bed. So,
what do you want to happen?
I don't know. I don't know.
What do you want to happen?
I think it'd be interesting if he runs ROH, like some of the rumors have been circulating.
Is that what you would like to see happen, or no?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it.
I want him to do something compelling. If he goes to WWE and he does something compelling, it's compelling. If he goes to AEW in this way, this kind of different way, that could be interesting. Though I don't want to say it would be a step back, but it'd be odd to see him not on AEW television. Like, what is the presence of Ring of Honor television then too?
Yeah.
So
there's gonna be a lot of crossover though. I'm assuming.
See, here's a question like this. Leonard asking, do y'all see AEW and W working together soon? Save questions like that for the SK Q&A, the Freestyle Friday coming up here in a little bit. Let's jump into this other story that we're following up here on. Updated AEW Revolution betting lines are coming in. This is on, we'll get to that Keith Lee story here in a minute. I'm sorry to jump ahead here on you, Jeremy. Updated AEW Revolution betting lines and predictions. We have a prediction show up right now for an SP3 and Benno from postwrestling.com. Thank you for him jumping over. That is up now for you guys to check out here. What do these indicate here with this traditional pay-per-view airing this Sunday?
For the Tornado tag match, they got the good guys winning. That's not a big surprise with Sammy Guevara, Sting, and Darby Allin. That's not a surprise at all. They are a 1-4 favorite. So if you bet $100 on them, you'd get back $125. So you really would not be getting much back. Very even between Chris Statlander and Layla Hirsch. This is Chris Statlander's at a 10-17 or -170 odds to win. Layla Hirsch a +130. The biggest sure thing on the card is Hook and QT Marshall, which will be on the buy-in. Hook is a 1-10 favorite. So if you bet $1,000, you'd only get back $1,100. You ain't going to get much back if you bet on Hook to win. QT Marshall is a 5-1 underdog, but I mean, that's not going to be a surprise. Hook's going to choke him out. That's not a big surprise. Very interesting numbers here. Face of the Revolution ladder match. Ethan Page is the longest shot at 12-1, followed by Christian Cage at 10-1, Powerhouse Hobbs at 8-1, Wardlow at 7-1, who I predict is going to win. I predict Wardlow is going to win that. And then Tony Khan's going to make Wardlow an official employee of AEW, and that starts him turning on MJF. Orange Cassidy 5-1, Ricky Starks 4-1, Keith Lee 4-7. Keith Lee is the betting favorite to win that ladder match. I still say that Wardlow is going to win that match, though. Eddie Kingston is a 1-4 favorite over Chris Jericho. Jericho being a 5-2 underdog. Very, very even. I predict Kingston's going to beat Jericho too, by the way, in that one. Very, very even between Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley. Danielson only a 5-7 favorite, while Jon Moxley is even money. So very, very close in that. I think Moxley's going to win on this match. I think Moxley's going to beat Danielson and then join Danielson for whatever faction they have in place. The dog collar match has CM Punk at a -270 or a 10-27 favorite. MJF a 9-5 underdog at +180. I think Punk's going to win after what happened on Wednesday. I think that's pretty obvious there. The AEW World Tag Team title match has Jurassic Express as the favorites at 5-6, nearly even money. Red Dragon at a 9-5, Young Bucks at a 9-4. I got Red Dragon in this one. I think it's been a very underwhelming tag team championship run for Jurassic Express. I think they're going to pull off the hey, Steven agrees with me. I think Red Dragon and Adam Cole are going to win their respective matches. We'll get to Cole's odds in a minute. Mm-hmm. Actually, the biggest favorite is Jade Cargill, 1-15 over Tay-Conchi. Tay-Conchi is 6-1 underdog for the TBS championship. The women's world championship, Thunder Rosa at a 2-7 underdog. I'm sorry, 2-7 favorite. Mm-hmm. Heavy favorite for Thunder Rosa to take the title off of Britt Baker. I think she is the perfect person to take the title off of Britt Baker.
It's time.
Considering all the history and everything, Britt Baker a 9-4 underdog. It's weird to see the champion.
I also think it's a little bit stale right now with Britt is the champion. It's ran its course. She's gotten what she wants out of it. Yeah. And now let's give it to somebody else and have them be elevated with it.
Big underdog, though, for a champion. That's kind of interesting. Yeah. And finally, your main event, the world title, Hangman Page is a 1-6 favorite, while Adam Cole is a 7-2 underdog. And I see Adam Cole winning that match. I see Adam Cole taking that title off of Hangman. And then once Kenny Omega gets back in a few months, you start that championship feud, whether it be Double or Nothing or All In, All Out. And it might not be till Labor Day when Kenny comes back, so it might be All Out. But I think Adam Cole is going to win the title here and carry it for quite a while. I think he's going to carry it until he gets that feud with Kenny Omega when he comes back. So Adam Cole, a 7-2 underdog, though, at +350.
It'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. You know, this is something they've been building up to. This is the way AEW works. It is different than WWE in terms of having that monthly or even every few weeks, some type of pay-per-view premium event. And now they're going to the route of doing quarterlies, and you have to drop your $50. Could that change with that reported HBO Max deal? Who knows? And it could be very, very different moving forward. So could this be the last time we get All Elite Wrestling Revolution as a traditional pay-per-view from AEW? That's a question I have going into the pay-per-view this weekend. And I hope the answer is yes. I hope or at least at some point, if this isn't the last one, at least at some point they announce, hey, we're going to do the traditional streaming deal, and try and make this a little bit more accessible to people. I'm not saying that pay-per-view is dead, because it certainly isn't. But I don't know. It just seems, for wrestling, it just doesn't seem to line up. Am I wrong?
No. Yeah. No. It was, it's the norm for a lot of things now. Yeah. And so, yeah, like said on Pat McAfee show, Vince McMahon was ahead of his time when he did that.
Yeah. So if you're with us here, slam that like button. If you watch the Pat McAfee Vince McMahon interview, slam the like button. I didn't get to talk about it, but you guys covered it in great detail yesterday. Talk about an interview. This was very, very compelling stuff. If you hate Vince McMahon, you should watch this. If you love WWE and you hate Vince McMahon, you should watch this. If you love AEW and you hate Vince McMahon, you should watch this. If you just think that Vince McMahon is intriguing, you're going to think he's much more intriguing after watching this. And there's
it's
a lot
good shit, pal.
It's a horrible person.
Good shit, pal. It's good shit.
A horrible person. And I think for a lot of people to say, oh, he's out of touch or anything like that. No, I think I got a sense of, oh, he is who he is. He knows what he's doing.
He's a little out of touch. He didn't know what a flex was.
He doesn't have to. He's a 70, but I mean, he's like, I'm a 76-year-old man.
He also thought a loaf of bread was $10. So he is.
Well, that's crazy. Yeah,
he is out of touch of the real world.
Sure, but I mean, this is a guy who's lived in a bubble for the last 4 decades, but I mean, I think he came off a little bit sharper and more personable. You know what I mean? It was intriguing and casual to see him just dropping F-bombs.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And obviously they did a little bit of a thing where an angle, not so much where he said you're gonna have a match at WrestleMania and stuff.
Yeah, Pat acting surprised. I think he knew ahead of time.
Yeah, dude.
And Bleacher Report put out their rumor mill today. Only something I've been asking for weeks. Rumored might be Pat McAfee and Corey Graves. Something I've been begging for.
Woo! Hell of a WrestleMania.
Something I have been willing into existence for a good month and a half now. Just because of how perfect the build would be, how fun it would be to have 2 color commentators who can wrestle battle each other at WrestleMania. I think Corey Graves is a tremendous pick who to take on Pat McAfee.
And then you can do it again later on. You know what I mean?
if it's Austin Theory, I'm not gonna complain too much because he's a good wrestler.
And they've gone in that direction with Austin.
Yeah.
And also Pat's over.
And
you know what I mean?
Pat's
if Pat's in a situation where he gets to be the babyface,
and
beat up some chicken shit.
He's definitely gonna be the babyface against Graves. Yeah, have Saxon be the referee. That'd be funny. Of course, Saxon used to wrestle himself. If you don't know,
my thing is, I think if Graves wrestles, people are just gonna be so excited about it because they know he's a wrestler, but they know he's on commentary. And the majority of fans, for the most part, have never really seen him wrestle, and they just know him as a commentator. But they know
it's been almost 9 years.
9 years.
He retired. He retired at one of the very first takeovers back in 2014.
If it's Graves versus McAfee, it's certainly compelling.
Yeah.
But then one of them is playing heel. Right?
It's going to be but Graves plays heel all the time. So, it's perfect. I think it'd be a perfect setup and a lot of fun.
I just think Graves would get a babyface reaction if he got in the ring.
Oh, he will, but so will McAfee. But at the same time, if you're going to have a heel in that role, it's easily Graves. He was a heel when he was a heel when he wrestled. He was a heel when he wrestled. So
Christopher Ryker says McAfee versus Graves, winner gets the spot on SmackDown because Raw sucks.
I think Michael Cole probably has something to say about that. I don't think Michael Cole is going to give up Pat McAfee anytime soon.
I loved Vince McMahon saying Michael Cole, horrible person,
horrible,
a
horrible person.
Like he cut him off. He's like you brought Michael Cole, horrible person. I thought that was great. Very entertaining as well. Check out our episode yesterday breaking down the entire Vince McMahon interview and how Vince McMahon's going to induct Undertaker at the Hall of Fame, which makes that Hall of Fame like a must-watch show.
Yeah,
if you're not watching the WrestleMania, you're not out of it, and you're just an old school Laps fan, I think you got to check out the Hall of Fame if Vince McMahon is inducting him.
Yeah, I said that if Paul Bear's not alive, with Paul Bear not being alive, I think that's the best way to go.
Let's get into Bearcat Keith Lee here. We know Keith Lee is now certainly all elite, and they tried to do something different with his character on the way out before he left WWE and giving him the Bearcat makeover. And we found out more about this here. What is the latest on this?
We got Keith Lee here recently on Talk is Jericho, and was talking about just everything in terms of leaving WWE and things like that. And basically said, I took a bit of a pay cut because that time the people that were on top of the indies were all doing quite well in terms of money. So he actually took a pay cut to go to WWE. Or actually, I'm sorry, he meant that on the independent scene. No, he was losing money in WWE. I'm getting this interview confused. I apologize. But he said, by that mindset, I'm doing all right. I didn't want to take this pay cut and lose X amount of money, but eventually I did. And I suppose the belief in myself would exceed fairly quickly. And to be honest and fair, I did exceed what I was making in the indies, even in NXT. So he took a bet on himself.
Mm-hmm.
And once he became successful, then that's where he started, making more money than he did previously. He looked back on the Bearcat gimmick and he turned it down originally because he wasn't feeling it. And I think that was kind of the consensus with a lot of fans as well. They just weren't feeling it. And when I was about to come back, they kind of hit me with the vision of the Bearcat thing. And during that time, I was like, I don't understand what this is. I'm not sure I'm feeling it.
Mm-hmm.
And they just brought me back just as myself. And then my first match, I lost to Lashley. Second match, lost to Cross. In the middle of the show, Vince pulls me into a room and wants to talk to me. Vince doesn't leave his show. In the middle of Raw, he got the semi and main event coming up, and he's like, let's go chat. And the conversation was, listen, I need you to do this. I need you to be this. And I was like, listen, I work for you. If that's what you want, that's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
And he revealed that Vince did not like the way that Keith Lee spoke to him. The chairman wanted him to be grimier, I guess didn't like the way he spoke on promos and things like that.
Grimier?
Yeah, I said grimier was the word Vince McMahon used. How he delivers things and his dictation. But I mean, the way Keith Lee talks is unique, and I don't think they really needed to change that up. And all those things was something that the way he presented himself was something that Vince was not a fan of. And to the point where Vince told him, you're too smart for your own good. And Keith's like, I don't understand what that means. And, just sound like a lot of butting
creative disagreements.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say? Sounds like a creative disagreement.
Yeah, he said he did try. He looked in the mirror, made faces and grunts and yells and screams, and tried to deliver this grimy character, but just was not feeling it at all.
That's okay. It happens. Some people don't click. It's not the right thing. It's not the right time, and you go and do something else. I think if you work in a creative environment, or Jeremy, you've played in bands and stuff like that and worked with other people. There's some people here, this is going to be really, really cool. And it just doesn't click, And I think for Keith Lee, that was the case. There was some stuff that was really, really exciting with him. And there's some stuff with him in All Elite Wrestling. It's pretty exciting right now. Let's see where it goes. Try something new. He's a really, really talented guy. Very, very unique. Definitely one of the most mobile big men in the business. But, once that character comes through and you get to see that larger than life personality, I'm hoping that all comes there. We know he can have great matches. Let's see an exciting character. Let's see an exciting character that lives up to that in terms of just personality and promos and a way to captivate people in the top row of the arenas and come down to the match with him. Yeah, and I think that's the thing with Keith Lee that we've seen glimpses of, but we need to see more of, and I would love to see more of it. Keith's a very, very talented guy. I've been in a room with Keith when matches are being discussed and different things are like that. He's a very, very smart guy. And I don't mean that in a bad way, or, he's too smart for his good. Who am I to talk about that exchange, right? But I got the sense of, this guy's super intelligent. Like he'll have a future in wrestling post an in-ring career. Like he strikes me as one of those guys. And who knows, maybe he'll have a future in WWE. That's the thing to remember, guys. Like people remember this. Like, all right, hey, you tried this thing. I asked you to do it and it didn't work out. Well, I still remember you tried it. There's a lot of people that remember stuff like that too. You ever have that happen where somebody was like, you did this thing, it didn't work out, but I did remember that you gave me a shot on that. That happened to me one time in radio where somebody said, like, you did this thing that didn't end up working out, but later on we're going to pay you back with this other thing you want to do. So who knows? It's okay. Like, not everyone gets along. I think that's all right. Not everything's always just this big, like, dramatic thing, and then I left WWE. It isn't always that way. It isn't that simple either. It's a little bit more complex than that.
Yep. And we'll see some excitement on Sunday.
For sure. You like him winning that ladder match?
No, I predict Lord would win it.
All right. Yeah, which then lines up with everything else I want to do.
Because MJF's reminding everybody that he's an employee of MJF, not Tony Khan. Mm-hmm. So in order to finally turn it on MJF, he's going to become an employee by winning that ladder match.
All right, let's get into it. That time. All right. Get ready to start tiki-tapping your type screens.
Fire away.
Fire them away. It is the SK Q&A. It is Freestyle Friday. You guys run the show here. We'll go about looking at the time frame here. We'll go about 10, 15 minutes or so. All right. So get your questions on screen. All right. If you're with us live, do it. If you're with us on demand, don't feel like you're not a part of this either. Get your comments below in the comments. So if you guys do this in the comments, I'm going to go in and answer these throughout the whole weekend. All right. And I'll be answering those directly to you guys on YouTube, on Facebook. So definitely give us a follow on all the different socials and follow up with us on this different stuff too. Like, hey, I like this answer. I thought this was really cool. Don't be afraid to, bounce back with things here. Let's get into some questions here. CRC gets it. Oh, here we go. Mr. James Espanto Fernando Tagay. Give you a little bit more because it's Friday. He goes, Big Kip, good old JB. Which Ring of Honor person would you like to see show up this weekend with the recent Persons. Briscoes. Gotta see the Briscoes.
That's why I said persons.
Yeah. Them boys. We want them boys.
I think the mystery tag team at Supercard of Honor is going to be FTR. So I think maybe this might be a setup, maybe something like that. FTR ain't on the card, but doesn't mean they won't be there.
I know the Briscoe. Yes. So this was just announced yesterday. I think it's worth noting this is that WrestleCon just announced for the Impact Wrestling show at WrestleCon, you'll get the Good Brothers versus the Briscoes. And this is billed as Impact versus Ring of Honor. So that was just announced yesterday. So if you're heading down to Dallas, going to want to check that one out. It is going to be streaming from there as well. And the Briscoes are set to defend the Ring of Honor tag team titles in Garland, Texas at the Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor on April 1st. So a lot going on in Dallas that weekend. So a lot going on with the Briscoes. So certainly could be interesting here. Roland Curtis, thank you so much for that super chat. If you guys want to donate super chats and get your questions on screen, you can as well. We answer them all though. Along with Mark Calloway, Undertaker, retiring the Undertaker, should Vince McMahon and WWE retire the casket match, Buried Alive, Boneyard, Cinnamon match, Body Bag match, Inferno match, similar retiring things with the individual jersey? Should they all go down with the Taker? Don't do any more of those because Taker's not here. What do you think?
I don't know. The casket match, I would say keep.
Keep it.
The Boneyard thing, I think that maybe, just keep that as a Taker thing that they had with AJ Styles. Keep that. We haven't really seen many Buried Alive matches.
Sorry, my lights are falling apart here. Go ahead.
Have we ever seen a Buried Alive match that didn't involve Undertaker?
I think they did one. Didn't they do one like on TV? That was
it like Kane and Steve Austin? Maybe.
Yeah. Like they did one like that for sure. No. Keep this stuff because you need something like that.
I would keep the casket match for sure. The body bag match. I mean, hell, there was times in at least especially in AEW you had with Darby Allin. So there's going to be some possible times where you could use a body bag match. Inferno match. Again, we don't see those hardly at all anymore. But that casket match I think it's a little too iconic to just fade away.
Here's a fairly good question. Genuine pony. Yeah, pony. There we go. Genuine asks, how do you think WrestleMania will rate in terms of like a quality, in terms of like just being a successful show? It depends. I liked the past 2 years with WrestleMania being 2 nights. I think alleviate some of the pressure of the show having to be this extra big thing. It strikes me more of like a festival. Like when you go to a festival lineup And I've always thought WWE was sort of like this anyway, because I think people just judge this one thing sucks, so the whole thing sucks. I don't think that's fair, because I was like, that isn't fair to the other guys on that show that kicked ass, to the other gals in this other match that kicked ass and had a great story, and that was written for them, and they hit it out of the park, right? So, like, I thought that happened last year with WrestleMania. Like, there was some stuff that was really, really cool. I thought Cesaro and Rollins was awesome. Bianca Belair and Sasha was cool. All right, they did some goofy stuff besides it, but I thought overall it was, thumbs up WrestleMania. I think it'll be a thumbs up WrestleMania. I think it's a WrestleMania that's going to exceed any lowered or tempered expectations. I don't think it's going to be the greatest WrestleMania, but I do think it's going to be a really fun show.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some good parts. Obviously, AJ and Edge is going to be a tremendous match. I'm sure Brock and Roman's going to be good. You know what? We'll have to see. Some things are shaping up nicely. Others are still lacking direction. So, it's going to be, I think in the end, it'll be a good show though.
Why don't you jump on this one here from PJ?
Is Cody Rhodes coming to the WWE? And if he is, when? I don't know. I'm going to trust Cassie Haynes more than Ringside News. So I'm going to say no. I think I think the plan all along was for him to run Ring of Honor.
That's what you think. We'll see what happens here. But yeah, I think there's a possibility of that too. It's very up in the air. Here we go. Stephen Chambers. Hey, Kevin, are you going to the New Japan show in Chicago in April 16th? WWE paper coming to Chicago in June.
Hell in a Cell in June.
Yes, that was confirmed. It was Hell in a Cell today. I am going to the New Japan show. I am going to the New Japan Riot April 16th. And I assume I'll be going to the WWE Hell in a Cell show. You and I were talking Hell in a Cell earlier today. You go to them. They're a fun thing live. They're a fun match to see live.
Yeah, I saw Taker and Shawn in Dallas.
Yeah, I saw Undertaker and Triple H at WrestleMania. It's pretty cool. I'll take this over a Punjabi prison match. I saw one of those live. Those are weird. It's very hard to see anything in the ring, and you just kind of wait for them to climb up to the top of the thing and do something crazy, which is crazy enough as it is. Let's get to this one here. Canada Spaceman. Oh, Canada. I thought Corey Graves hurt his neck or back and is never supposed to wrestle again. He had a series of very bad concussions in WWE NXT. He was a veteran wrestler at that point and many years under his belt. And at one point, he was just kind of not medically cleared to wrestle anymore. And then they moved him into a commentary role in NXT, and he exceeded at it. He became very, very good at it. And then they made him kind of like the go-to color guy.
He was on Raw and SmackDown for a time.
Yeah, and NXT at one point. He was doing all three shows, which is crazy, right? Now featured in a reality show with his girlfriend, Carmella, also of WWE fame. Here, I've not been able to check that out.
That show looks terrible.
I haven't heard anything bad about it. Here. Let's get into another one here from Roland Curtis. I want to get this one here on screen. Give me 1 second to pull this up here, Roland. You just pop this one off on us here. I hate it when it's like zipping by us here. Give me 1 second here. There we go. Thank you. Roland asks, it was the SmackDown season premiere with the Rock and Sock connection, Undertaker versus Big Show. Oh, he's mentioning when they did the Buried Alive match. Undertaker's character called for all those matches. I'm not sure if they make sense without the dead man. Keep the Hell in a Cell in the boiler room. Semantics, but we'll see what happens. I mean, if you have a character who wants to just destroy someone who did something so bad to me, which is to bury them alive, if you can come up with a character, I don't see why you should limit yourself from not being able to do that.
I mean, they've already done things with body bags with Darby Allin. A lot of it's like jackass stunts, but
and no one said don't do that because the Undertaker did that.
Yeah, and casket matches. I think they have their place if it makes sense. So.
Yeah, they did one on TV with Daniel Bryan and Kane, and it made complete sense, and it was a fun match for television.
To get to one end here. Victor Shiflett says, do you think Solo Sakai is coming up soon? Solo had a very, very good match this week with Gunther, formerly known as Walter. I really, really loved it. If you've been sleeping on NXT, it's been really good the past 2 weeks. I've been really liking it. They've been I thought Dolph Ziggler has been a really cool addition to the show in terms of his run there. I think this triple threat match is really, really cool. I'm surprised they're not saving it for the Stand and Deliver show. Tickets going on sale for that, by the way, $15. If you want to get into Stand and Deliver the afternoon of WrestleMania, jump on that. I don't think he's coming up soon. I think he has to do some more things in NXT first. Mm-hmm. I'd like to see, more of the character come out with him. Certainly this guy is like a diamond, you can see there's a lot here with him. There's a lot of potential with him. And that Samoan dynasty, that Anoa'i family has so many great wrestlers in it. and just another great addition to the family legacy that he adds. Some legitimacy there, but I'd love to see him clash with Braun Breaker.
I tell you,
them go and run for a title in NXT first.
Yeah, I tell you what though, if he catches Vince's eye though, it could be game on.
Hey, what's slowing you down? You know,
Yeah.
if the boss wants to call you up, the boss calls you up. It's not a bad problem to have. You know,
Yeah.
It's not a bad problem to have here. Here we go. Steven,
Go
here,
back to that one.
Sorry.
Click it again.
Here we go. Steven has this one. Why don't you jump on this one with the triple threat coming up on Rampage?
I don't know. I don't feel a title change coming really at all here, but at the same time, they just had Sammy and Darby. So maybe just running this again, maybe they do, but I don't know. They could. I don't know. This is a good one. I could see it. I could see it. Sammy retaining. I could see Andrade taking it.
Mm-hmm.
Because eventually there's going to be that split with Hardy when his brother shows up, maybe next week. I don't know. My gut says Sammy, but I wouldn't be surprised if Andrade wins it.
It would be interesting. I do think Sammy's going to ride with this title. So I don't think there's going to be anything here.
That's a live Rampage tonight.
I believe it's a live Rampage. It wouldn't surprise me if they taped it, considering what's going on. I want to make sure we didn't miss any questions here. I'm scrolling through here.
With Asuka and Bailey coming back after Mania, what brands Asuka and Bailey be? I would put Bailey on SmackDown and Asuka on Raw.
Yeah, sounds about right. I mean, I think Asuka was already on Raw anyway.
You gotta put Bailey on SmackDown with Michael Cole.
I think so too. It'll be interesting to see how these things play out. What do you guys think? Do you have any more questions? Do you want to throw them in the chat, and while you watch on demand, you want to fire them off to us?
I think
at
we
our
are
socials?
all caught up.
Yeah, I think we're all caught up here.
I went to the beginning for the most part.
There you go. I think we're going to do it here. People ask me about AEW. I'll answer this. Okay, so I know what's going on with AEW. I know what's going on. I'm backstage. Yeah. I got all the questions.
Matt Cardona is the belt collector now. So.
He's the belt collector. He's going to come to AEW. He is not currently scheduled, as far as I know, for our upcoming event on Fight TV, March 19th. Could he show up? Who knows? AEW has a very good reputation of people showing up and doing some crazy things. The Young Bucks showed up there before they launched All Elite Wrestling. The Lucha Brothers have a long history there. Tommaso Ciampa has a long history there. I could go on and on and on.
There we go. I'm gonna send Cardona a tweet right now. Hey.
Don't get me in trouble now, because then everyone at the whole office at AEW is gonna be calling me up, yelling about Kevin doing that. At this time, I don't know, but March 19th, we have a hell of a show. Ace Steel has not been in the ring in a long, long time.
I tagged you in it too. I just said, I know a belt you need to get. And just tagged it.
I am fighting with my lighting today.
I tagged you in an AAW Pro. Just said, I know a belt you need to get.
Get the AWA title in there.
That's all I said.
Yeah, it would be something else. We will be on Fight TV pay-per-view once again, March 19th for Epic, our 18th anniversary. A long history of great wrestling. If you want to check out everything else we have, go to aawondemand.com. If you're looking for great independent wrestling with names that you know, Tyler Black, a.k.a. Seth Rollins, Bryan Danielson, Silas Young, some of the best that have ever done it in the last 20 years, they have all graced the ring of AAW. And get your tickets as well. Breaking news. Stop it, Corey Jackson. I never said that.
This is May, so, I mean.
That is not breaking news. It's not breaking news. People love the Freestyle Friday, though. I enjoy this. People like that.
It's a staple, baby. It's a staple.
We do it every Friday. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit a like on this button. You got the buttons right there. They're free. You can hit them a handful of times if you want as well. And hit us up. Follow him on the Twitter machine, at JB Husker. Follow me, at Kev Kel. I'm nearing 3,000. I'm nearing 3,000 on Twitter right now. So definitely go and do that. I got people calling me. All right, so thank you guys for supporting the channel. Remember, when watching wrestling, do the most important thing, which is what, Jeremy?
That is to tune into our AEW post show on Sunday and enjoy wrestling. And that is not an insult.
What is it?
It is a fact of life. Yeah!
Yeah, talk to them.
Yeah!
Talk.
Let me talk to you.
Talk to them.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!